Let's go.
Gosh, watching Boubacar Kamara celebrate in that intro makes me wonder of much better times of celebrating goals and celebrating Aston Villa victories and yeah, how we long for those times again, George.
Hi, mate. Yeah, sorry, what was that word? Goal. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
that happens when you take a shot. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. But no, welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with George for your match preview. A bit of a shorter match preview today for the Carabao Cup tie against Brentford. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We've had a big jump in subscribers over the last few days, so thank you so much for your support. And there's also, I believe, a new hype button that you can press or something that you can do to hype up the channel and help it get out there to even more people. So if you could do that as well, that would be absolutely fantastic. But before we get into the talk about Brentford versus Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup, George, I just want your thoughts because I think after my match reaction, after kind of a couple of comments that went viral, and we had Mark on, who was the kind of culprit, if you like, or the victim, if you want to say, of the viral clip. There's probably two camps, and I'm not sure where I am right now. I'm probably slightly in one further than the other, but there's two camps in terms of Villa fans who I guess are concerned at the moment, obviously with the lack of goals, but more so the performances, more so the way that we're playing, and it can point to signings that have been made that haven't got into the team, areas that have been looked at in terms of that need improving that haven't seemed to have been improved despite the new signings that we've made as well, and the new signings don't seem to be potentially improving in those areas. And you can understand while there's a sympathy for PSR and the restrictions that it puts, that shouldn't necessarily be used as an excuse for poor performances and poor results as it stands at the moment. And then you've got the second camp that are like, because of those restrictions, because of what we've got in place, we have to just bear with it, give it some time, and we're kind of trusting in the process, trusting in Unai Emery. He's going to get it right. The players will turn it around, and it's kind of like you've got to get behind the team, no criticism, and just wait to see what happens. Where do you fall in those two camps?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, I'm not sure I'd put myself anywhere really. I just you sometimes just got to have a common sense approach to it all. I mean, there's no hiding behind the fact it's been a disappointing start for us, and for me, it just feels like the season hasn't even started yet. It's just been not a lot of enjoyment. I mean, to be fair to Unai, I feel that I think Unai feels we might have conceded too many goals last year, and he's trying to find a way of making us a bit more solid, which I mean generally he's done. I mean we've only conceded 4 goals in 4 games, 2 clean sheets out of the 4 games, a narrow defeat at Brentford. Obviously we got caught out by Palace at home, but yeah, I think he's shored it up a little bit. But yeah, we just seem a bit devoid now in attacking areas, don't we? And getting movements going. And yeah, it just feels that something's happened over the summer, hasn't it? Ever since the defeat at Man United, the missing out on Champions League on the last day after we'd had a great end to last season, and over the summer you've had the Martinez saga. We've lost Ramsey. There's been talk of Watkins, and I just wonder behind the scenes. I think the players may have lost a bit of faith in the club. I think it's been very harmonious over the last few seasons, hasn't it? Everything all in an upward curve. And then I think all of a sudden they all feel like maybe, hold on a minute, we've all done a lot here and we've achieved a lot, and all of a sudden now we're being touted for moves and stuff. And I just wonder whether it just doesn't seem like a very happy camp, doesn't it? You've got
Mm.
Morgan Rogers, who was on fire most of last season. He looks like a completely different player now. Doesn't look like he's asked at all. And yeah, I just think they're feeling a bit sorry for themselves, and there's a bit of a sulk going on. You can feel it in the crowds. You can feel it. in the team. It's just been a very low feeling around us, and but we've got good players. They haven't just turned into rubbish players overnight. So one win, a couple of goals. We get a good win tonight. Things can turn very quickly. So I don't think there's any room. There's no time for like going into mass sulks and crisis mode yet, because it's a long old season. It's just not been a very good start.
Yeah, I think you're always the voice of reason on this channel, George. And in terms of that, then, do you think it's a case of, look, just the players, just get over yourselves, just get over it, or do you think kind of embracing it and maybe creating a bit of siege mentality? How would you kind of approach it if you were Unai now? How would you approach this? If it is a perceived bit of kind of, I guess, injustice that has been served on Villa, whether that be, promises made by the club or the restrictions that are being put on them, how would you kind of approach it?
Well, sort of, my feelings on that. I mean, we kind of gambled the deck of cards, didn't we,
Yeah,
last January, and that's where all this has come from. We've overspent last January, and it nearly worked. It really did nearly work, but it
yeah.
didn't. And now we've got to take it on the chin for a little bit. There's no point Unai sulking about it. I mean, he's still managing to get like Jordan Sancho's and Harvey Elliott. These are big time players. Sancho, we'll see, but Harvey Elliott
Mm.
was much sought after. So it's not as if we've got a rubbish team overnight, is it? So just get on with it and just start winning a few games and getting ourselves up the table.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just start winning some games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just start having some shots on goal. But yeah, let's talk about today or tonight's game. We're recording this Tuesday afternoon. Brentford in the Carabao Cup, and I'll put a tweet out and I'll put a message out on the Finalysis app as well. Like, now we're going into this Carabao Cup, and I guess people's opinions on it would have changed. I would anticipate from the start of the season when they'd have seen this game, particularly with the teams that we'd have kind of perceived that we were playing before the season started in terms of the results that we would get. Now we're in this position where we have 2 points from 4 games, with Sunderland and then Burnley coming up afterwards, and the need for some confidence. Does that now place a little bit more importance on this game in terms of getting a result?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Carabao Cup as itself, I don't think Unai gives two hoots about it. But I think tonight he's going to go strong, and we need something to get our season going, don't we? And it's
Mm,
always got to be the next game, isn't it? Which happens to be tonight. So I reckon if we'd have won 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4, he'd have probably tossed this game off, because with the Europa League this year, it's going to be a long season, and the squad not being as deep or as strong as it was last year probably. But no, it's the next game, and we need to get going, don't we? We need to get some goals and get a good feeling going, and you need to get that as soon as possible. So I think this early in the season, you don't have to be worrying about burnout or anything like that. So I think he goes pretty much full whack tonight and tries to get a win on the board.
yeah, we've got Martin's starting lineup to come in a second, but just your thoughts. Tielemans looks like he's out for some matches. I don't know if that's official quote from Unai Emery. I don't know if he's done an
It
official
is,
press
I think,
conference.
yeah.
Okay, so he's out for some matches. We've still got no Kamara and Onana, so there will be changes there. But what do you anticipate? Are you anticipating Gesson starting? Are you anticipating Harvey Elliott, even Jadon Sancho? What sort of changes are you anticipating?
Yeah, I think, well, we've got a blooming problem in central midfield, haven't we? That's the whole central midfield are out. You're down to McGinn, who's kind of like your backup option now in that position. And Bogard, fair play, was very good at the weekend, and we all shouted at the start saying we want to see him get some minutes. He's a shoe in to play today, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Sancho, it depends on the fitness, because Unai said he wasn't quite up for it yet or up to scratch yet. So if he's fit, throw him in, mate. Yeah, Elliot, definitely start him. Gesson has looked didn't look too bad in his last outing, but the first game, he looked well out of a fish out of water, didn't he? So again,
I just
yeah,
want to
just
see him. I
get
want to
them
see
in.
him attack. Yeah, I want to see him attacking in areas that we bought him to attack in. Like, I feel like, look, don't get me wrong. We're looking at Saturday's game when he came on. He kind of did his job for the team and did his defensive job for the team. But I think that's just indicative of the lack of confidence in the side at the moment. That we didn't want to get him into forward positions. We didn't want to get him into positions where he was 1v1 against their fullback, and that's where you want to see him. Or even if he's in a central area, in positions where he can really do damage and start running at people, because It just seemed to me that we're kind of really playing the safe option right now, and maybe a cup game where the pressure is off slightly could be a good alternative to get some of these kind of passages of play or just trying things out that maybe they felt too much pressure on doing in the Premier League.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, it's just hard to know at the moment. What are we trying to do, isn't it? As I said
Mm.
earlier, I think he's definitely trying to get it more solid. Which fair play. We always whinge when we're conceding goals for fun,
Yeah, true.
but
Yeah,
at the same time, you don't want to completely lose your attacking threat. Because at the end of the day, goals win games, don't they? And if you're not going to
yeah.
score, you're not going to win. But yeah, it just seems everything's so slow. But I guess it's been slow a lot of the time. It's just uh, do we miss the balls from Pau Torres from the defence, or is it the balls? Is it Yuri Tielemans in the middle who likes to knit things up and that? And it's not quite happened yet this season. It's just something's not right, is it? It just feels like
No.
we've got no movement, no pace, and the ball's just not being moved quickly enough. And like you say, not enough risks and not enough people are being brave and trying to make things happen.
Well, hopefully, as you say, that changes tonight. And you mentioned Pau Torres. It seems to have been Tyra Mings and Ezri Konsa, sort of back to basics with that defensive line. It's funny because that was Dean Smith's sort of back five with, well, no, sorry, actually, correction. It was apart from Luca Dean, it's Dean Smith's, defense, and Luca Dean hasn't been yet usurped by Ian Matson, so it does feel very, very sort of back to the future with the defensive team that we've got right now. But do you see maybe Pau Torres coming in for an appearance today?
Yeah, well, I would imagine so because obviously you've got to be watching Mings all the time, haven't you? And managing how many games he plays. But to be honest with you, I'm quite happy with Mings and Konza. I just think over the years they've done all right, haven't they?
Mm.
They play and we don't concede as many
They
goals.
just
It's
know how each
even
other
this season.
plays, don't they? That's the thing. They
Yeah,
know exactly how each other plays.
you could put them two in the England defence and they wouldn't let you down. They're
Mm.
solid. All right. You might lose a bit of build up and stuff, which is obviously Unai's style. But as a defence that should defend, I've got no real problem with them two together. But yeah, I think Pau Torres definitely comes in tonight for sure.
Yeah, well, let's have a quick look at Martin's lineup. He has gone for Mings. He's gone for Mings and Lindelof, so resting Ezri Konsa, Marco Bizot in goal. So maybe if Emery's questions, I think that'll be his answer. Matty Cash at right back, Ian Matson left back, John McGinn, Lamar Bogard, Harvey Elliott, Buendia, Marlon, and Gesson. So no Sancho right now. So I think the bigger missions there are maybe Watkins and Konsa and Martinez. Obviously, any much disagreement there? Maybe as you said, Pau Torres in for Tyro Mings, but much disagreement there from you.
I don't think that'll be far off. As I said, the central midfield, they're about the only two we've got left, didn't we, of any note?
Precisely,
So I think
yeah.
that's nailed on. Um, yeah, well, we'll see if Gesand. I still don't really know much about him or what he's supposed to be, but if he's
No,
a centre forward, then he's going to have a great opportunity tonight, isn't he? I mean, Marlon,
yeah.
they're saying Marlon's the backup centre forward, so I don't know. One of them be wide and one of them be up front, I guess. But again, Ollie Watkins yet to get off the mark this season. So would he be looking at this as a game to get his confidence up? So I wouldn't be surprised if Watkins started the game.
No, nor me. When I looked at that, I thought, he might want to play Watkins. He didn't get many touches of the ball on Saturday. We haven't got a game till Sunday, so it's not exactly that he's gonna be, as you said, burnt out or. And I just feel like it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you might want to give some players who haven't had minutes a chance to stake their claim for a starting position. But if you're trying to implement certain patterns of play and ways of playing and get the relationships going with the players, then you might still play Rodgers and Watkins and your first choice forwards because you need that clicking, particularly for the next lot of Premier League games.
Yeah, that's true enough. I was just thinking. I think I did mention it in our group the other day, but with Watkins, I mean, Emery seems to want to play him as like this penalty box striker. I just wonder whether it's really to Watkins' strengths. I mean, like I know we used to moan back in the day that Watkins is too deep and he does too much graft for the team and he's never where he needs to be. But do you not think at times we really miss that hard work and graft, especially at times like now when you need someone to make something happen and Watkins is just standing in the box with absolutely no service? We might as well be playing with 10 men, and he's obviously being told to do that because we all know what he can play the other way as well. And I just think
Mm.
sometimes mix it up a little bit. You don't always have to sit in the box. Every now and again, if you're not scoring no goals, go and do some work and make something else happen for somebody else.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. It's some of it is Watkins, I think, and some of it is there's no runs.
Yeah,
So, if Watkins is to drop off into deeper positions, then you have to have runs in behind him. This is why I don't get, with Diaby, when Watkins used to drop off the line, Diaby used to make that diagonal run from the
yeah.
right hand side in behind. Even Bailey used to do it from,
Bailey the
from
same.
time to
Yeah,
time. We don't see that happen anymore. When he used to drop off the line into a particular area, he used to play a very quick little 1-2 with Morgan Rogers, who would drop into that position and then he'd spin and go in behind. We don't see that anymore. It seems to be that Emery wants the players in that middle area to pick up the ball and try and bustle their way through and then slide Watkins in. But that's just not happening because it's too congested, it's too tight. The
yeah.
player's
Not enough
first touch
space.
isn't good enough.
It makes
So,
Rogers look
so
really poor as well, doesn't it?
exactly. So that seems to be the problem to me. But I absolutely agree. Watkins is best when he's running down the channels, dropping in. But you've got to have the runners off the ball in behind. So yeah, that to me is key. But yeah, I absolutely agree. And it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one to sort of speculate on whether there are going to be numerous changes because as you said before, had we won no games at the start of the season, then you could have banked on players like Jimo Aloba, even
Yeah.
Hemmings, one or two of these younger players coming in. But I just don't know if that's going to happen tonight. With regards to Brentford, they've had a pretty decent start to the season. They obviously beat us. They got a good draw against Chelsea. They'll fancy themselves for tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know a lot of people have sort of tipped them to go down, but I think there's a lot to be said for the work they've done over the last few years and the recruitment and the feel good factor. I think they've been a really good addition to the Premier League since they've come up. They must have been 6, 7 years now or whatever they've been up. Good, solid team, and doesn't seem to matter now. Like Andrews has come in, he's started quite well, hasn't he? I don't think they'll be in danger of going down myself. And yeah, for the first few rounds of the League Cup, it only takes you to get through a couple of rounds, and you're looking at your pathway and hoping you can, plot a way to Wembley. So they'll be up for it as well. Whether they'll put a full strength side out tonight, I don't know, but it's going to be a tough game for us.
Yeah, I mean they'll be buoyed by their win, and they're in a position where they've had a couple of good results. He's probably got a luxury of players who haven't maybe featured who want to try and get into the first team, want to try and get into the starting lineup. So he's going to want to be like, right, here's your chance. So even if he does make changes, they're in a more positive frame of mind, I guess,
Yeah,
than Villa are to kind of to be making those changes. So yeah, it's gonna be a tricky one, especially in their place. But I think you've given me a little bit more positivity. I don't know whether that's going to translate yet right now. I think I'm more sort of concerned about can we put a performance in? Can we see some more freedom? Can we see some more sort of responsibility taken from the players? That's kind of what I want to see as opposed to maybe being too focused on the result. Although I do think a win would go a long way to sort of allaying some of the fans' concerns, giving a bit of confidence to the players, and taking that into the weekend against Sunderland.
yeah. And I'll tell you one thing I don't want to see tonight is 70% of the ball because it just does not suit us at all. The more we have of the
Mm,
ball, the worse we are. I think.
mm,
If Brentford try and play like that, I'd say we just step off as well. They're the home team. Let them try and come at us, and we need to try
yeah.
and I just don't like that approach away from home, and it's never really done too well for us. I find.
No, no, it's we just don't seem to have that way to break teams down, and that does happen to a lot of teams. The first goal in so many games is so important these days. But yeah, I totally do agree with you. If we can sort of suck the team in and then pick them off and get the players that we've got that are strong runners with the ball, whether that be Rogers or even Buendia or Gesson or Marlon, then that's going to help us to really hurt the team. If we don't do that, then we end up getting stuck in certain areas. We don't really want to have shots from distance. We're not a team that does that too much. And yeah, it just seems to stifle our momentum. So hopefully we can put in a decent performance tonight. Before I trouble you for your score prediction, I know I kind of teased that from you before in our WhatsApp group. I will reveal that shortly. Please do hit that like button and the subscribe button. We have hit that 6,000 subscriber mark, so thank you so much for your support. We want to get to 10k, so we want to get there as quick as we can. You can help us get there. So let us know your comments as well. Let us know your thoughts on the starting lineup, any changes to be made, and also let us know your score predictions as well. So, George, what do you think for today?
Yeah, I've got a feeling this might be a draw, and I think this could be a long night, and I think we'd be going all the way to penalties. So I'm going to predict 1-1, and I'll predict a tenth penalty shootout win for the Villa.
Yes, it is. It is penalties straight
Yeah,
after the
straight
kickoff,
after.
isn't it? Yeah, that's going to
And I'm going to
be.
go. In the last couple of years, Buendia loves a goal in the early round of the League Cup. Done it last year, and I won a few quid. And I think also the year before he did it. I can't remember who we stuffed the team lower down, but so that's my little tip: Buendia to score.
There you go. I have actually gone for a Brentford 2-0 victory. So that goal drought is going to continue. Sam has also gone for a Brentford 2-0 victory. As you said, George, 1-1, but Villa to triumph on penalties. Kevin has actually gone for a 2-0 Aston Villa win, so he feels like the tide is going to turn tonight. And as ever, Martin, Mr. Positivity, is going for a 1-0 Aston Villa win. But we shall see. George, thank you so much. I know you will be at the game tonight. If anyone watching is there, please do say hello to George. Buy him a pint. Do whatever.
Yeah, that would be welcome. That would be welcome.
And hopefully you bring the next round. Villa proceeds into the next round with you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with an instant reaction after the game. We'll also have, what will we have? Preview for Sunderland game. Loads and loads and loads of shows to come in the next few days. The games are going to come thick and fast, so make sure you stay with the channel. Thank you all for watching, and as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.